For me, when anybody asks me what Ayurveda is, for me, it's almost like a user manual, how to utilize our body properly. User manual is the book which comes with almost all our gadgets and electronic devices. There are three basic aspects that Ayurveda talks to us about health. The first thing is how to look at the body, mind, and soul as a one whole unit, and how to analyze the um, influence of different factors related to our body and mind. How do they influence each other, and how to actually identify different components in our body, uh, not restricted to just the symptoms or the particular organs or organ system, but on the basis of functions and qualities, very simple functions and qualities like movement or circulation or digestion, and qualities like heat or cold or oiliness or dryness. These simple aspects, how to understand it. That's the first main topic Ayurveda talks to us about. Another important part is to see, Ayurveda, we always say, is focused on prevention, but more than say prevention of an illness, I would say Ayurveda is about how to operate this magnificent and complex system properly. And that operation is again unique in this perspective that every person has a unique balance and a unique nature. So we need to identify who you are, where you are in terms of this process of balancing, and how your body is at the moment decides what kind of a routine, what kind of an activity pattern, etc., is required for you. So it's not just about treatments and herbs and plants. Ayurveda is about identifying yourself in a unique way, understanding what's that perfect rhythm or activity pattern, diet pattern, and lifestyle pattern for you in order to maintain health and prevent illness. And then comes, like any user manual, troubleshooting. If anything goes wrong, how we can take care of those symptoms. And Ayurveda talks about simpler symptoms and health issues, how it can be treated by changing our diet, changing our lifestyle, which we will try and share some information in this class. But along with that, it also talks about chronic illnesses and more severe illness, and how it can be approached by the process of deeper cleansing, panchakarma, internal sort of resetting through various cleansing methods. So this is my viewpoint of Ayurveda. So keeping that in mind, it will be more helpful to understand when we are trying to see different health issues. It's not about the symptoms or individual um, signs that a person experiences. It's more about who that person is, and there is always that uniqueness in the treatment perspective when it comes to Ayurvedic remedies, and it's not just symptom based. So keeping that in perspective, we are also going to talk about symptoms and how to take care of it, how to understand it in terms of women's health specifically. But that's not actually a definite treatment plan. It's sort of a outline, and definitely if you're looking for specific help, you should approach somebody who can guide you appropriately. If Ayurveda is a user manual and trying to understand how unique each of us are, the basic sort of scale or tool that we use to understand this uniqueness is called as the doshas. And doshas sometimes is misidentified as just body types, but it's not three different categories of people or three different nature inside in different people. It's more about set of functions and qualities, like I was mentioning how Ayurveda sees the whole system, body, mind, and soul as one unit. So if we look at the three dosha concept, it says that health ideally is a balance of three set of functions. And the first one is vata, second is pitta, and third is kapha. When we say vata function, it's mostly concerned with, it's a very deep topic. If somebody wants to go into it, that's in itself like a good hour, couple of hours long class. But we will go into it sort of in simple words. Like when I say vata, what we are trying to understand is not a particular substance in anybody's body or a particular personality type. By vata, we are understanding certain reflections of nature itself in our body, how nature is reflecting its air and space and lighter elements onto our body function, and that reflects onto our body's natural movement, that energy of doing activities, that energy of thinking out of the box, creative thinking. So all this lightness and movement together, we categorize it as an impact or effect of air and space and call them by the name Vata. And Vata usually is identified physically by the quality of cold and dry nature. And this coldness is not just, it's not about feeling cold. It's not about just feeling cold or um, dryness on the skin. Coldness can manifest in various different ways. It can affect the digestive fire and make the appetite lower. It can have an effect on our circulation in general. Dryness, again, it's not just skin dryness. It could be anywhere in the body, clicking sound from the joints, degenerative changes in the cartilages. Dryness can manifest in any mucous membrane or our skin. So it's a general idea of how air and space reflects onto our body. Pitta again represents, similar to Vata, it represents fire and water, fire predominantly. So it's mostly concerned with that transformative functions happening in the body, digestion, enzymes, hormones. So when we talk about women's health specifically, we'll be talking a lot about Pitta dosha and how we can pacify it through activity, diet, herbs, etc. Pitta is mostly categorized as the transformative function, not just happening in the digestive system, anywhere in the body, in the mind also. It can be quite sort of related to focused, goal-oriented problem solving. That kind of capabilities comes from that Pitta nature inside us. And Pitta is also sort of known to create, if out of balance, can create like acidic symptoms and increase in body heat, feeling uncomfortable in warmer weather, reaction towards sunlight, etc., etc. That hot and oily nature sometimes also reflect as some of the issues like related to skin we'll be talking about now. And Kapha is the third dosha, which is reflecting water and earth, more heavier elements, and it represents that nourishment, growth, tissue repair, memory, groundedness, calmness, so all the factors which are related to nourishing and heavy nature of water and earth. And kapha function inside our body represents sort of that ability to repair. It's very important to actually heal quickly. Kapha is also related to our respiratory function. In our mind, it represents calmness, groundedness. If out of balance, it can create issues like water retention, weight gain. In the mind, it can create sort of stubborn ideas and thoughts. But physically, you might notice more sort of oiliness externally, or fat deposits in the body, weight gain, or coldness, which is similar to like vata, like lowering the digestive fire, feeling cold and feeling like cold extremities, etc., can happen with kapha sort of imbalance. Ideally, health is defined as a balance of all three, which we try to maintain in different situations. There is also this factor of uniqueness of every person, where we understand that we are born with a particular, not an imbalance, a nature, which sort of defines what we naturally have affinity towards and what we like and what we dislike. So those factors, if we pay attention to, if we listen to our body, if we listen to our affinities and what we like, that usually helps maintain the dosha balance in a good way, and that doesn't progress into any health issues. If it progresses into health issues, then we try and focus on, instead of the symptom, try and focus on the individual doshas or the multiple factors, including doshas, that might be causing it, and try and treat these causative factors, which gives us the upper hand, because we naturally have to focus on all the functions and qualities related to those doshas. So naturally, mind, emotions, all the factors, activities, all of that come into the treatment plan without much extra effort, because you're not focusing just on the symptoms. So this is the sort of the basic background of Ayurveda, we are going to talk about when we speak about symptoms, we are going to focus on individual situation. Again, like I said, every person is unique, so the situation can be different, but there are certain underlying changes that commonly happen in these health conditions, especially in women's health related to the cycles and the cyclic pattern of hormonal changes happening. And there are multiple places where it can go wrong. And how do you identify it? How do you take precautions and understand the risk factors involved? And how do you sort of treat if you are already suffering from any of those?